Hello, everybody. Welcome to Influencer Interviews and Insights. This is Rooster Hat and Takes. How you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. Had a great Mother's Day. Ready to get this week going.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I always talk about the weather on these little segments, and finally, we got some sun in the UK, although it did rain again last night, but a little nice change in the weather.
Well, that's a plus. We could definitely use some rain here in Florida, especially where I'm from. We haven't had rain in like 3 months, it feels like. It's pretty dry. It's starting to get hot, so summer's rearing its ugly face down here. But Mother's Day was great here as well. Hats. We got some good quality family time, so it was a good thing. So all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. I hope you guys had a great week. And fathers, I hope you took care of the wives and gave them an incredible week or day as well. So we got a nice guest today, guys. Last week was awesome. We have an up and coming little star in the influencer world, so we're super excited to have him on there. Before we bring him on, real quick, don't forget to download the Next Level app and enter your chance to win the $100 gift card to the WWE shop. That is still going on. We're running that here for a couple more weeks. You'll have 2 chances to win. We're giving away 2 $100 gift cards on the Next Level app. So make sure you find your favorite influencer, click on their Connect link, scroll to the bottom of their Connect link, and enter your chance to win that gift card. It's free. Give it a shot, right? You got nothing to lose. And you can start following your favorite influencers on Next Level as well. So, guys, you ready to get the show started?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here, let's go ahead and bring on Nick. Nick, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Good.
I
was waiting for a Paul Heyman entrance. That's what I was gunning for. No, I'm doing great.
I could have handed that over to Hats. He could have done that one probably.
How's it going, bud?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good over here. Enjoying it. Just finished off a stream here, but it's crazy the time zones. For Cam, it's probably like midday. For me, it's for you guys probably the crack of dawn, and then for me, it's nearly the end of the night for me. So, but it's nuts. It's crazy how the world works.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's awesome that we can connect this way too. That's even better, right? Like, who would have thought that I would be talking to someone in Australia here at 8:30 in the morning? So, you just mentioned that you did a stream. What were you streaming?
I was streaming EA Sports FC, formerly known as FIFA. I was playing Foot Champions Weekend League, so you competitively every week go into 20 games, and then depending how many wins and losses you accumulate depends on like the level of rewards you get. So we're playing the first 10 games of that tonight, and then we'll do the next 10 games tomorrow. So usually
I gave that a break this week after that whole Mbappe Dembele situation. What a joke that was. Did you open your rewards already or not?
No. So I was actually out on the weekend, so I missed the last couple of days to stream, so I missed out on it. But even like us Aussies, that's too hard for us anyway, because Champs opens up at like 3 a.m. for us. So to get in when the glitches come out,
wasn't it? I can't believe EA did that.
I still kind of think they might have done it on purpose. I don't know. I've got like a weird theory about that stuff.
I think
it's backfired for them now.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to elaborate, guys. What are we talking about? What happened?
Right, I'll let Nick explain.
So basically, when you play the weekend league and the Foot Champions, you play for the great rewards. And at the moment, the football season ends. So in FIFA, they release these cards called the Team of the Season cards. And any player that played well in real life and makes their Team of the Season gets a boosted card. So they've put that into Foot Champions rewards that you can get these Team of the Season cards. And usually you get your 5 Team of the Season cards you usually get, but usually like the poor cards, to be honest. Like they aren't like, you get like your low rated ones. You get your right backs, your goalkeepers. But when they released the rewards this time, they glitched them. They glitched like the pack weight. So the best players in the world, your Kylian Mbappe's, were popping out of like 50% of the play picks people are opening, when realistically his probability is probably like a 0.001% chance actually in that pack will pick. So once the EA started finding out that was happening, they then fixed it, and then they made the rewards like complete trash. So like people are like uproaring, like, oh, these people have got a free Mbappe and I'm getting nothing. I just played all these games. So bit of controversy in the community right now.
Yeah. It was so unfair though, because everyone who played on a Friday got the really great cards, and then people like me and Nick who didn't play on a Friday got stuck with all the crap. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought it was a disgrace what EA did there.
My cousin heard about it early in the morning Australian time, so he started logging on, just spamming out his games.
Yeah.
And then he just missed it by like 20 minutes, so he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy.
Can imagine.
Got the leftovers. Got the leftovers. It sounds like
these players aren't even leftovers that we got. I'll tell you that. Lucky for that.
All right, so let's get started. So obviously you do a little bit of the soccer. What other type of content are you streaming? We know you are into wrestling a little bit, but can you just talk a little bit about what else it is that you're doing? And
so yeah, I mainly do like football content on my TikTok and my tweet. Mainly on my TikTok page, and just been posting to Instagram now, whether it's like football opinions or me ranking players or giving my views on certain players and teams. That's what I like to do, and reactionary based content as well. But then I also juggle that with the gaming side with playing EAFC. It also helps because the football and the EAFC community, like they kind of work hand in hand because it's based off football. And I've been doing this for like 3 years now. I just started through TikTok. I feel like everyone just kind of starts through TikTok these days. Yeah. And then just recently I made that WWE page. Just posting my wrestling. Like I've always been like a WWE guy, like on the side. And then like never like thoroughly like proper like in the most recent years. And then when CM Punk came back recently, I was like, oh, I need to start watching it again. Right. And then like you say like you tune in and you're like, I'm watching like the Raw highlights. I'm like, no, I'm gonna watch this live next week. Now I can't miss a Raw or SmackDown. I can't miss a Raw or SmackDown. And we're lucky that the times here in Australia isn't too bad. Like the Raw or SmackDown kicks off at about like 10 a.m. which isn't that bad.
Oh, that's not bad. I was gonna say that's not bad.
Better than here at 1 a.m. in the UK. So it's like I'd rather be Australian time.
Yeah, exactly. That's criminal. The 1 a.m. start for wrestling, and then but like just been loving it since that road to WrestleMania. I got to say, ever since I was growing up, I can't imagine a time that I was that deeply into wrestling at all.
It is going to be quite hard for us international fans with the news that the PLEs are going back to a Sunday. So for us, it'll be a Monday morning. That's going to pretty much. I think they'll lose a lot of their audience through that, in my opinion, because people will be at work and school the next day. They can't stay up on a Monday.
No, it's 100%. I remember like me, even just when we were at school, you always had to avoid the spoilers. I always wanted to like not hear what happened during the day. I still remember when I was a kid, man, I was like, don't tell me anything. It was like Survivor Series. Can't remember the exact year, but it was the year that Sheamus cashed in on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that was 2015, I think.
Yeah, I think it was around that year. And then I nearly made it through the day, and then some kid runs out of science class. Oh, Nick, Sheamus cashed in Money in the Bank. I go, no, I nearly made it. But yeah, I hated that as well. I prefer they change it to the Saturday. But I'm hearing they're only doing that when it's UFC on the Saturday as well. So hopefully it doesn't stuff around with a lot of the pay-per-views. But I agree, the Saturday pay-per-view Sunday for us is a lot better.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what are they doing? They're doing Friday. They're doing the slap fighting, right? And then UFC, and then
Has anyone actually watched the slap fighting?
Hey, it's actually pretty entertaining. I mean, just to watch people getting slapped right across their face.
Like
that's got to hurt, man.
Oh my gosh! Like the fact that it's even something, but yes, like I've seen some things scrolling through like TikTok and Instagram, like their faces get mangled in this little event. It's there's no skill to it, right? Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sorry. Like you just have to tolerate a lot of pain, in my opinion. Like that, and be able to take a slap
and give a mean one as well, and give a mean slap.
Right. I mean, I take that back. I guess maybe there is some talent. I just don't know what it is, but it's more of just tolerating pain. Like it's brutal. Like I do give them props for being able to take a slap like that, but gosh, damn. I don't know.
How do you train your face to just get obliterated? I know like UFC, like you're training not to get hit or whatnot, But slap, you just sit there and you take it. Like, you got to.
There's no defense to it at all, right? It's just you got to take the slap.
Yeah.
Nuts. It's an interesting sport to say the least. All right, I got to go back here because you're saying football, and this is a controversial topic all the time. We have this show because Cam's over there, a football player. We're a soccer. What do you guys call it in Australia? What again?
It's soccer. They do call it soccer in Australia. Our national team's actually called the Socceroos. So they take it from the Kangaroos and they just threw soccer on the front. But it just depends who you're talking to here. Like, because I'm technically Greek background. My grandparents came from Greece. So in Australia, we've got a lot of like Italians, Greeks, a lot of European people that came over. And especially where I live around in Sydney, you've grown up with a lot of like these European nations. So us growing up with all our families and that, we do call it football within our family. So it really just depends who you're talking to. Like if you're talking to a true blue Aussie, you're going to say soccer. But if I'm talking within my family and I'm talking to friends I know, we do reference it to football. I normally say football, but I kind of like tend to, who I'm talking to, I'll say soccer or football. But I'm not one of those people that's tribalistic with it. Like, I call it soccer, he's got nothing. Honestly, it doesn't bother me.
Honestly, in England here, I think it's pretty much is 100%. If you call it soccer, then you're going to get, it's going to be an outrage pretty much. Calling it soccer in the UK.
Nuts.
Yeah, Cam struggles with that one. We catch grief every time we say soccer, and he's like, "It's football. You guys, you never use your feet."
And they'll call it egg ball for you for the American football NFL.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. But Cam, let's talk about you brought it up a little bit earlier. Why don't you get that rolling here? This little beef we were talking about.
So I think this is what gave you a big platform. It's certainly how I found out about you. This whole beef with Bateson and Nepenthez. It came up on my TikTok feed. I didn't recognize you, obviously, but I've known Nepenthez and Bateson, two of the biggest football/EAFC creators there is. And you were having some sort of beef with them. How did that come about? How much of it was real? And what's your relationship like with Bateson and Nepenthez now?
Honestly, it was just funny because it started. I was talking about the Foot Champions before. Mm-hmm. So it started was when this game came out. They usually say like 5 days until Foot Champions opens. Like they'll have like a countdown, and it was a lot earlier than previous FIFAs that have ever came out. And the way it works, everyone buys their team in preparation for it, and then when it comes to like the players' prices start going up in price. So everyone was buying their teams leading up until the Foot Champions, and then all of a sudden EA go, "Oh no, we're delaying it by a week." So everyone that bought their teams lost like half in value. All the teams halved in value, all the coins. Anyway, so then Nepenthez puts out a sarcastic tweet on Twitter. He goes, "Oh, just letting everyone know I was the one that told EA to change the date." So then I knew it was sarcastic, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to make the most out of this." So I take the tweet and then I go to TikTok and I go, "F Nepenthez, you've cost me half my team in price. Stop you, man. You killed everyone. Everyone's lost all their coins. All Nepenthez' fault." So I just started blaming Nepenthez. He saw that video. That video blew up. It got like 800,000 views. Something. It went crazy, that video. And that was just the first video. And then he duetted it and he was laughing about it. And then he followed me back on TikTok. And at the time, I was like respectfully, I used to wake up every morning watching Nepenthez. Like genuinely every morning. I'm like, bro, this guy follows me. This is sick. Anyway, and then I just kind of like, so then from that, people coming over to my Twitch and then they just ask questions like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on Nepenthez? Oh, this is Nepenthez. Is this Nepenthez' fault?" So then I just started like on stream, just like raging. Anything that happened, I just blamed Nepenthez. It was clearly not his fault, but I just blamed Nepenthez. It just became like a trend. I just blamed him. It was like, "Oh, this card everyone's saying was good." I was like, "Oh no, he's trash, bro. Who spread the rumor? It was Nepenthez, bro. Nepenthez. It's Nepenthez' fault." And then I lost to some PC player. Then I blamed it on Nepenthez because he made a PC Road to Glory like years ago. It was funny. Anyway, he was finding it, laughing about it. But he actually messaged me in private messages, and he's like, "Nick, I find it funny. Like, I know it's obviously a joke, but like, I'm just like, people like full messaging me like, my dog died. It's your fault, Nepenthez. And then like, my parents got divorced. It's your fault, Nepenthez." So he's like, I was like, if you could just like tell him like to calm down, like obviously a joke. So I did. I made a TikTok saying it was a joke, and he was sweet with it. Anyway, in one of the videos that I blamed Nepenthez in, I blamed him for the Great Depression. Like, obviously it's a joke. Obviously it's a joke. Anyway, and then all I've done in this video is just named, I've got, Nepenthez, he's called the Great Depression, and that prick Bateson, bro, and it's Bateson as well. That's what I said. I just mentioned Bateson.
Yeah.
Anyway, like the video wasn't even titled. When I uploaded that TikTok, it wasn't even titled with Bateson. It was literally titled Nepenthez. So I don't like how it spiraled into Bateson's hands. I don't know. So the next day I've gone live on Twitch, and then some random account just comes into the chat. I go, what are your thoughts on Bateson? I go, he's just ruining the game, bro. He's just ruining the game. Anyway, and then 10 seconds later, I'm playing my game, and then I look to the chat, and then Bateson writes a message. He goes, are you sure about that? And my mouth just drops to the floor. I'm like, what?
No.
Bateson? And then the way he responded, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, he was kind of playing onto the joke. That's the way I thought it was. So then I was streaming like, oh, fuck, stuff you, Bateson, bro. You're stuffing up the game, bro. It's all your fault. It's clearly being sarcastic. Anyway, then after a bit, someone in my chat was just trolling. But they're like, oh, bro, Bateson just tweeted about you. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's go check Twitter on stream. So this is live on stream. We're going to check Twitter to see if he's tweeted about me. I go and then it goes, Bateson has blocked you on Twitter. Mind you, I don't use Twitter. I've got like 700 followers. Oh my God, is he blocked me for a joke? I'm still thinking maybe there's a joke element to this. And then further investigation to it. No, he full hated me. So he full took it personally that I blamed the Great Depression on him. But then that was worse for him. I always say this, that was still worse for him because then I made a TikTok of like the whole like him coming into my stream and that. Then that got like nearly 1 million views, I think, that video. So then all the people going to his comment section, just like, Nick Stav on top, how'd you get you baby, you cry baby, it's obviously a joke. So then he was getting like more hate from it. Like at the end of the day, like I obviously didn't hate them. At the end of the day, I obviously didn't hate them. And like Cam says, like a lot of people do like recognize me from that. But those videos I was making, that was like 1 week and I stopped. And I stopped making those videos. Like that was 1 week. And a lot of people, if I'm around in Australia here and they go, oh, Nick Stav, seen you on TikTok. And I just go, F Bateson or F Nepenthez. Like they kind of know me for that now. And it was literally just 1 week. And I stopped it. Like a lot of people go, oh, why'd you stop? Like, I mainly stopped it mainly because I didn't want to be that guy that got like massive after just like talking down on other big streamers. Like I knew I had the capability to like start doing this properly without having to do that at the end of the day. And I didn't want to become that guy. I think that even just doing it for a week, like Cam said, I said before, but people like I got a little bit of exposure from it anyway. But still F Bateson, but I like Nepenthez.
Yeah, I was going to say another reason you might like Nepenthez. In the background there, you got the Thierry Henry shirt. He's another Arsenal fan. What are your thoughts on the Premier League title race? Who's going to win it, City or Arsenal?
If I'm betting with my brain, I'm going to say City. At the end of the day, when it comes to City in the last 10 games of the Premier League, these guys don't lose. We learned that last year. Liverpool fans, we've learned it twice. They don't lose. They do not lose. The only thing I'm happy with in this title race now is that it's coming down to that last game. So anything can really happen. You know, if Man City gets a half-time in their last game of the season, it's 0-0, but they hear Arsenal up 2-0 at home, they might get a little bit shaky, a bit nervy. They might toss that game away. All they need to do is draw one game out of the next two. They are playing Spurs. They're playing Spurs. Arsenal's going
to be a Spurs fan.
Oh, man, I'll be waking. That's a 5 a.m. wake up for us. I'm definitely waking up for that game.
Yeah.
Praying for a Spurs win for the first time.
If Spurs win, you need to buy a Spurs shirt. All Arsenal fans.
You know what? I'll never wear a Spurs shirt. As much as I want Spurs to win, I'll never wear a Spurs shirt. But I will be supporting Spurs come Wednesday morning. But like I said, if I'm betting my head, City. I think if I'm betting with my heart, I'd love to say Arsenal, but I can't see it happening. But if it comes down to that last day of the season, I think Arsenal fans are like, no, it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, 0-0 at halftime for Man City get to that. We could be cooking.
Personally, looking from the outside, I would say there's more chance of them dropping points away to Tottenham. Because look at what happened home to Villa. They were 2-0 down. When we
that 2 years ago. That was nuts. I was out watching that.
Goes and gets a hat-trick, and it's like, oh my God, here we go again.
There you go again. But Spurs do have a bit of a, like, City are Spurs' bogey side. So Spurs usually have their number most of the times. But Spurs have like won one game of the last 5.
And I don't think Spurs fans particularly even want to win that game.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Jason, we need to get caught up. Jason, we need to get caught up on football.
I know. I have absolutely.
I feel like Cam when we have our American football talks with Jake TV and all that stuff. So
I'm completely lost. But it's fun to hear from the other side. You know, like you guys having a conversation. So I have no clue what you're saying, but it's pretty interesting to hear you guys banter back and forth.
Yeah.
So besides football, Nick, you said you're from Australia. I've actually been to Australia. I've been to Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne. I went there when I was 16 to play baseball. And when I was there, I tried surfing. Do you surf?
No, I can't say I surf. I can't say I surf. I'm near an area where surfing is big, but I can't say I've surfed. Like I mentioned before, I told you that like us European families, like I'm telling you, my grandfather in Greece, I don't think he ever learned to swim. So throwing us in water, it could be a death sentence at the end of the day. That's how it is for us Greeks here in Sydney. But your true blue Aussies, yeah, they do like to surf, but that is a technique in itself, a skill. So I said, you said did you try it?
Yeah, I tried it. I couldn't keep my balance. I was horrible at it.
It's hard.
It was very, very hard to do.
Yeah, we have another thing called like boogie boarding. You get like little, they call it the boogie boarding. You ride the wave. That's as much as you'd be able to get out of me. That's it. I can barely do that. But surfing, no surfing. But we do have great beaches here in Australia. But surfing, it's one of those things I do want to try it one day. But I feel like I'll get into the water and then 60 minutes in, I still wouldn't even be able to caught a wave.
I mean, the main thing that would put me off about surfing in Australia would be like all the sharks and dangerous animals you've got over there. I always hear stories about like snakes, spiders, sharks in Australia. Is that true? Do you have spiders crawling around your house and stuff?
I always say to the day I die, like this is the biggest myth. Yes, you might find a spider here and there. If I see a spider in my house, it'll be that big, tiny, tiny, and then they're harmless anyway. Like you literally get a bit of toilet paper, tissue paper, that's it, and then throw it out. The snakes and things like that. I've never seen a snake like in a normal area. Yes, I've seen them at the zoos and things like that. But in my area, when I've even gone out, I've never seen a snake out in public. So I think people kind of think that like, oh, there's all these dangerous animals everywhere. Like there isn't. Like, oh, there's kangaroos in their backyard. You'll see a kangaroo if you're going on like a 5-hour road trip out to the country. That's when you'll see a kangaroo or at the zoo. You don't see that stuff like jumping around our neighbors. like that doesn't happen. I think that's the biggest myth when it comes to Australia is the dangerous animals. Yes, the oceans can, like you get things called blue bottles. Not sure if you heard them when you were here, Jason. They're like these like, I don't know if they're under the jellyfish bracket, but they're kind of like that. And then they just like wash up like close into the shores and then they're like on the low surface water levels. And if they nick you, they sting you. So like that's like what you get things like that go around the waters, and you got like dangerous animals. Things with the rockfish as well is very dangerous if you step on that. But that's up in Queensland, I think, as well. But like at the end of the day, I'm telling you now, you're not coming to Australia and getting hurt by an animal. Knock on wood. I don't know what the stat is, but it's like getting hit by a car. It's more of a chance than getting bitten by a shark in Australia. Like it's like it ain't happening, but. You gotta be careful though at the same time.
It is. That's so funny, because that was literally the next thing I was going to ask. Because all you hear is everything in Australia wants to kill you, right? Like every animal, whatever it may be. So that's hilarious. So thanks for killing that myth. Killing that myth for us. So that's awesome. I've tried surfing once. It is because I've gone to the other coast. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida. You don't get the waves. You can do the boogie board and a little bit of that, but tried surfing over at Cocoa Beach. It's hard. I got up one time and I was up for like a couple seconds and fell off, but it's taxing too. It's tiring as hell trying to get up there and surfing. But
and you got to wake up like 4 a.m. in the morning. Like it's a proper process. It's a proper process. So couldn't see me doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't think I'd ever get a chance to do it here in England with our Berlin Sea. It'd be freezing cold if you fell in.
Is there any waves in the beaches in England?
Not near me, but I mean, I guess if you go further out, you would get some. Yeah, I think people do surf here, but you need to wear like a lot of clothes because it's blooming freezing. Even in the summer, it wouldn't be too warm.
Yeah. Was it Brighton down south that would have some?
Yeah, probably. I've never been to like the southern coast, but probably Brighton and Bournemouth are pretty nice beaches. I guess Cornwall.
Yeah.
Jason, were you gonna ask a question? Sorry.
So going back to wrestling, gotta ask. We've asked everybody that we've had on, what'd you think of WrestleMania and Cody finishing the story?
Well, if you can see there, my belt. Can you see the side plates there? Got the American Nightmare side plates on it.
Okay.
Nice.
So, but I'm gonna say here, I don't understand what, especially the wrestling fan base on Twitter. I don't use Twitter like I post on it, but I do scroll through it, especially when I'm watching like Raw and SmackDown. I don't get it why it's like you have to choose Cody or you have to choose Roman. Like, why can't I like both? Like, they're probably. Right. I was trying to say this to my mate, is that we went into a WrestleMania main event. Take away all the cameos with your John Cena's, your Undertakers. Yes, that was sick. But we had a WrestleMania main event where you probably had one of the most over baby faces since Daniel Bryan. And then you had probably the best heel in the business since The Rock, basically, back then. So just in those two names going into a main event, like, WrestleMania was looking great anyway, even outside of the cameos. And I did want Cody to finish the story. I wasn't a tribal chief, you know what I mean, Glazer. I wasn't a tribal chief Glazer. But I do want my Roman Reigns back. I do want Roman back. I can't wait till he comes back. I'm not sure how much longer we can wait because SummerSlam's only like 3 months, 3 months away. Yeah. So he's still going to need at least a month build. So I can imagine him coming around soon. And what they're doing with the Bloodline story, it's amazing. And that's what I'll always say with wrestling is that I always would love like Roman and Cody to win at the end of the day. But whatever's best for the storyline is what I always want to happen at the end of the day. Cody winning that belt was best for the storyline. It merged perfectly because now even Roman Reigns is going off probably the best part of the Bloodline storyline we're probably going to get if we're being honest. And I can't wait for the next WrestleMania. I want to be there next WrestleMania. So in Vegas could be a good location.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be a fun one to go to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, speaking of WrestleMania, and I think it was Money in the Bank last year, Grayson Waller came out and said he wants WrestleMania Australia. Do you ever see that happening?
Not for like 10 years. Not for 10 years. Because I can't see London getting a WrestleMania for like another 4, like at least 3 years. And London crowd is like unbelievable. Like I went to Elimination Chamber here in Australia, but it's in Perth. I think people forget how big Australia is. For me to get to Perth, it was a 5-hour flight. Like it took me a while. It took me a while to get to Perth. It was across the other side of the country. And Perth, like Australians know it, but it's like kind of the more dead side of Australia. Like no one really goes to Perth. And the reason why we got that pay-per-view is because the Perth government, the Western Australian government actually pumped money into their tourism. So they cut a deal with TKO. That's why you've seen UFC come over here to Perth and Elimination Chamber came here to Perth. And I just feel like maybe like the crowd was great. I loved it. And like I was getting amongst it. But you see what they just did it in France at Backlash. And it's night and day. And I think that's just European crowds itself with the football hooliganism. Like it just is. You're going to get that with those crowds. But that's why I would love a WrestleMania in Australia. But like, let's wait our turn. Let's wait our turn. I think the European nations deserve it a whole lot more than we do.
Yeah, I mean, I would take even like a Rumble or something like that. Just any big, one of the big 4 pay-per-views would be good enough. I
think a Rumble would be great in the in Wembley as well. I was thinking UK, you got a very like marquee fan base, so whoever's coming out with their music, they're gonna know it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They're gonna know it. And I think those rumors are gonna send the WrestleMania Royal Rumble to Saudi Arabia. Would be serious, man. Like respectfully, I know they're gonna be getting a big bag, but come on. They just saw what happened in France. It baffles me. It baffles me.
Yeah, but, I mean, when they go to Saudi, the audience isn't usually great, is it? I do like them shows purely because they're on at like 6 p.m. here in the UK, but
that's good for you.
The audience is not really into it either.
Yeah. That's right. You got the good times. For me, my times are going to be rough for the next few pay-per-views. King of the Ring, it's going to be tough for me. Bash at Berlin is going to be tough. But Money in the Bank will be fine. I'll be back to normal for me. But so I remember back to your first question about WrestleMania. Yeah, I loved it. I think with taking off your nostalgia glasses, I think it was the best WrestleMania I've ever watched. As a kid, I always loved Rock versus Cena. Cena's my GOAT. Cena was my childhood. And then like them coming, like that build for that feud. I think people forget like that was built up. Like especially as a kid, that was built up like that was 2 monsters going up against each other. But as a full package WrestleMania, that was amazing in my opinion. And like there was just underrated matches. Like Sami Zayn versus Gunther. I had my friends over. They came over to watch, and like we were like when he hit that second Aluva kick, I genuinely couldn't believe Gunther was going to lose that. If someone just said to me, "Hey, Stav, he's 50 grand, throw it on Gunther or Sami," or 100% throw it on Gunther. I did not see Sami Zayn winning that, and I thought I thought they did that well as well.
Yeah.
Like just matches like that, I think were great as well. That I didn't expect to be as good.
Yeah.
And even The Rock, he was great in that fight. I actually haven't heard enough like respect for him. Like everyone was going, "Oh." I swear he came back, interrupted Jinder Mahal, hit him with the spine buster. I was like, "Oh, bro, he's gassed after one spine buster. Rock's moving like a rock." It was like, he was getting hate, but that match went on for nearly an hour and he was great in it. So I can't wait. I'm fingers crossed they end up with Rock and Roman at next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we get a good storyline there.
I mean, we could see Rock versus Cody alternatively, couldn't we? Maybe at SummerSlam or one of the big pay-per-views.
I think the more I think about it, I think they actually might do Cody and Rock at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah,
as much as I don't, as much as I prefer it at SummerSlam, it's just I feel like the way the Rock's movie schedule is for him to get back, build up Cody versus Roman, and then I think that they wanted to say Roman versus Seth. I feel like they could honestly milk it and do a Roman Seth at next year's WrestleMania, but then with the whole bloodline storyline they're doing right now, I feel like it could lead to a Rock Roman. I don't know. I think you know what, Triple H is in charge. I got faith in him. I got faith in him to pick up the Storm. So
absolutely.
The one match I do want at next year's WrestleMania, I think everyone keeps on banging it about it. I made a TikTok about it though time ago on my WWE page. Is that everyone wants Cena versus Randy? I feel like Cena versus Punk. I feel like Cena versus Punk's the better story. How many times have we seen Cena versus Randy Orton? As a kid, it was literally just watching that on repeat. Like I was numb to it. But looking back on it now, you're watching Cena versus Randy every single week. We haven't seen Cena versus Punk in over 10 years. And now I still feel like that was Cena's best ever storyline with him and CM Punk. And all it is, I just played into the storyline that CM Punk will end up getting that World Heavyweight Championship, which I could see him getting by come next WrestleMania with whole Drew McIntyre and all that storyline playing into it. Literally just have it that CM Punk, John Cena never gave CM Punk his WrestleMania main event that he always wanted. And then CM Punk doesn't want to give John Cena his 17th title to break the record. And we know how good both of them are at cutting a promo. Night one main event that, and night two main event Rock and Roman, that could nearly top the last WrestleMania we just saw. I don't know. I think that's what they should go with. I would take a Randy Cena. I think anything they give Cena now will be good because it looks like it's going to be his last run. But I prefer CM Punk versus John Cena.
Yeah, that would be a great match. I personally think they will go with Seth versus Drew versus Punk in a triple threat for the World Heavyweight title next year's Mania. I think Drew walks in as champion and maybe Punk dethrones him. But
when do you think Drew's going to verse CM Punk? You reckon it'll be at Clash of the Castle?
No, I think Drew beats Damian Priest at Clash of the Castle to win the belt, and then I think a singles match against Punk at SummerSlam. Drew wins by some screwy low blow, say, or something like that. Punk goes on and on for the next 6 months trying to get another rematch. He wins the Rumble or Seth wins it, one or the other. And then they do a big triple threat at Mania because I think Seth is still involved in that storyline, in my opinion. He was there at Mania. He obviously lost it to Drew, and he was going to be him versus Punk, wasn't it, at Mania 40? So I think he still needs his spot in that feud.
Yeah. I would love another Seth versus Roman, though. So I just feel like ever since what happened in that WrestleMania main event, I feel like that story is just waiting on the table. Whether that happens at a SummerSlam or WrestleMania, we're yet to see. But I think you're right as well that if you're left with Rock Roman, a Cody Randy, if you get a Cena, Punk, where does Seth play into that? I don't know. It's tough. So, Cam, who's your favorite wrestler at the moment? Is it Drew McIntyre?
Right now, probably McIntyre and Sheamus. I've always liked Sheamus. Yeah. Throughout history, same as you, it's John Cena, probably Punk as well, The Rock. But it's probably McIntyre and Sheamus right now. I do like LA Knight still. I think LA Knight's still underrated. Yeah,
no, he's great, LA Knight. I think you have a good match with Cody within the next few pay-per-views I can see happening. So, but Drew McIntyre's killing it at the moment.
Most entertaining thing on Raw, in my opinion. I know we were talking about that with Tesh last week. Him and Punk are both injured, and they're still more entertaining than anybody else on the roster.
100%. Drew McIntyre, I feel like he just reads Twitter comments and then just throws them into his promos. But they're working. They're good.
It works.
Yeah. They're good. Like that one a couple of weeks ago where Sheamus came back and he's doing the banger after banger. Mate, it's been like burger after burger after burger for you. Like that. Like he's killing it with his promos. Even just the small stuff, like in the match against Seth at WrestleMania, he took the phone and started tweeting. Like, I don't know. He's gold. He's gold at the moment. And you know what? Like, I actually never really liked Drew McIntyre. Even when he was a face, I thought he was a pretty bland character, if I was being honest. He was the Scottish Warrior. Like, come on, man. Like, he was just like, he was a bit angry. And then he had nothing really substance to his character. Well, now you can kind of get behind him. He's like, they portray him as like an anti-hero. Like he feels like Punk has screwed him out of that WrestleMania main event. And then he did want to get back at him and win that title. And then he wanted to show it off. Like, I feel like you could actually get behind that, even as a heel. But I just didn't really, it never sold him as a babyface. I always thought that when they pushed him against Lesnar that year during COVID, it was just like Vince McMahon knew Roman Reigns didn't work at that time. And he knew he liked Drew McIntyre. He was tall, he was built, he was ripped. And he knew that like the marquee fans liked him in that indie scene when he came out of it and through NXT as well. And then I just didn't really like him as a face, but you know what? As a heel, it's probably my favorite thing on WWE at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like Drew as a heel rather than a face. It's crazy if you go back and see what he used to look like. It's holy cow, man. He's like a little toothpick, and now he is jacked. And what a transformation that, you know, he has gone through from where he was to where he is now. It's pretty awesome to see how he's growing and becoming that huge megastar that we know he can be. So yeah, but Drew's he's been growing on me. I've never really, you know,
I've never been a fan either
to him, but more and more he's growing on me, and I can't wait for the showdown between him and Punk. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
Fade families.
Well, Nick, so something we always ask everyone we bring on here is what you're a content creator, whether it's on the football side of things or the wrestling side of things. What piece of advice would you give somebody who's trying to start up their own little content creation gig and whatnot, and trying to make a name for themselves?
I always say, like, don't be scared to like show yourself. Like, I look at a few videos of me like a few years ago, and I'm like, that is just not me. Like I'm just like so vanilla and bland, and you kind of like, I think people forget, especially when I stream for the first time on Twitch, when you put that camera in your face, like it's like it daunts on you. Like you're like, oh, someone's watching me 24/7. What do I do? Do I speak here? So at the end of the day, also just put a camera in your face, and whatever you think, get it out there. The second thing I say is you don't copy other people, but kind of mirror what they're doing. You see, oh, okay, Sandy Zap's reaction videos doing well. You know what? I think I've got a bit of personality. I may as well do that as well. And then just put your own twist onto things. And I always say the main thing I always found with TikTok is when you get something going and that thing gets views, do it again a second time. I think people will latch on to you when you start getting some consistency to you and they start familiarizing yourself with like certain type of content you're going to go for. But you also got to be willing to change on your toes as well. Like the content I've been posting on my TikTok over the last 18 months, it's like, it just keeps on changing, whether it's like stream clips or me football opinions and the way I edit them. And you just got to like stay on your toes because I think even Cam before said like the editing game on TikTok, like you could genuinely stick a phone in your face with like, you look like a calculator and get views. But now like everyone's production level is just getting so much better and better and better. Yeah. So you just got to like step it up. But the main thing I always say, just it's such a cliche comment, but like you got to believe yourself when you put that camera in front of you. I feel like if you can't believe in yourself, how are you going to expect that guy across from you watching it to believe you or be relatable to you? At the end of the day, just show your true personality. Like that's what I found best when it's been on Twitch. Instead of being like a little robot, like, oh, what a goal. Like, oh, rage. Like that's just naturally who I am. That's just my emotion I put out there. Yeah. That's it.
That's awesome. That's wonderful advice and very consistent to what we've been hearing from creator to creator. So it's awesome to hear that, and your content's great, right? So you're obviously doing something very, very well, and we enjoy watching your content. We'll continue to watch your content as we grow, as our brand grows, and not only here on Influencer Interviews and Insights, but Next Level also. So Nick, again, it was an absolute pleasure to sit and listen to your thoughts. Just you and Cam talk a little bit about football. Was exciting, but just also your takes on wrestling and where it's going, and so forth. So again, thank you so much for taking some time and talk with us.
No, thank you for having me on. It's been good to speak, man. I love talking about wrestling. I think, like you said, like some people don't see that personality to me, so love talking wrestling. Of course, love talking about me Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to give a little plug to your Twitch or Next Level or TikTok?
Yeah, that's it. Check me out across all socials. Yeah, Next Level, Nick Stav _. TikTok, Nick Stav _. Twitch, Nick Stav _. Instagram, Nick Stav _. That's where you can catch me. Different types of content over there. But I don't know. Check out my Twitch as well if you want to see someone raging about FIFA.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
All right.
Well, thanks, Nick. We appreciate it.
Easy. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, again, a couple things real quick. Don't forget to go to Next Level and register for your chance to win that $100 gift card. You can do that right on Nick's Connect link as well, and either takes or influencer interviews and insights Connect links. A bunch of information on there, but go ahead and check out all the content creators we have on Next Level. They're doing amazing things, and hope to see you guys on that platform. But again, thanks a lot, Nick. And that wraps up another episode of Influencer Interviews and Insights with Rooster Hat and Takes. Thanks, Nick. We'll talk to you guys later.
Easy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.